All right, today's video, we're gonna make this book cover. What I have inside here is one of those composition, it's just one of those cheapo composition notebooks. You could, of course, make a book cover for a junk journal or an art journal or whatever you like. I go through the steps with you and got interrupted a couple times by the boss. This is my kitty Mitzi. Isn't she pretty? And today she wouldn't leave me alone. Okay, let's get into the video. Love you. Hi there, Cher Johnston. Today's video, we're going to do a little bit of a different project. This is a book cover for one of these composition notebooks. I did a little bit of slow stitching on this. It's like I don't know what kind of quilt this is called, but I just took strips of fabric, cut them up, put them back together in little bits and pieces, and then made this little cover. I'm going to do it a bit differently today though. I still have my strips here, and to be honest, I just don't feel like sitting at the sewing machine for that long to do this. So I'm going to cut these all up and line them up on this piece of fabric, and then I'm going to stitch them down with some slow stitching. I forgot my rotary cutter. I'll be back. Okay, so my book is about 10 inches. I have a piece of fabric that's about 11 and a half. So I'm going to cut these to about 10 inches, 12 inches. Why not? A nice sharp rotary cutter sure is a wonderful thing, isn't it? Put those to the side. And I'm going to take these and I'm going to pile them up here. And I have a piece of fabric here that is, I basically just measured it around the book. I took the back page here and I folded it all the way in, and then folded this around the front, and I have plenty of room to cover the entire book, and it has extra room at the top and bottom as well. So this is just I think this is a kitchen towel. It has stains on it and stuff. It doesn't matter because we're going to cover it and it's not going to show. And this will basically cover, see how you can see through that? And if you just put one piece of this on, you'd be able to see through, but with both layers, see? But with both layers, you can't really see through. So I'm going to keep it here on my mat so that I can kind of keep them somewhat even. want them to overlap just slightly. A lot of people do slow stitching, and there's as many different ways of doing slow stitching as there are people. Some people like the eco dyeing and that grungy look. Some people like vintage fabrics and that sort of vintage style. I don't really have access to a lot of handkerchiefs and old vintage things. I do, however, have a lot of fabric. I've been sewing since I was a child, and unfortunately I didn't keep all of my scraps. Some of it I wish I had, but I have more than enough now. I don't need more scraps, but I do on occasion, like this, go out and buy, of course, more fabric. But look at this. How cute is this? I got this because I have a granddaughter who loves foxes. She had a little stuffed animal when she was really little that was a little fox. First she had a bear. We don't talk about the bear because she lost him. Her little Teddy got lost. Now she has a little foxy. She loves foxes and owls. Anyways, this is not for her though. This is for my niece. I made something similar. I think I made it for my granddaughter, and I don't know if she didn't want it, or I don't know. I don't remember. But my sister ended up with it, and I was talking to my sister on the phone one day, and she said, she said she had this notebook, and her daughter saw it and wanted one. And I said, well, I think I can do that. So she and her daughter both wanted one. And I have enough fabric left to make two. So I made one, and I was just tired of sitting at the sewing machine. It's not as easy when you get to be old. I'm just going to say old. I'm a boomer, and I'm 65 years old, and things are not as easy anymore as they used to be. But hey, it's a privilege to be old. Not everyone gets to do it, And it's not for sissies. That's for sure. I'm afraid these may be a little wonky, but you know what? I'm trying to embrace the wonky these days because, it should be okay. If things go a little off kilter and when quilting, it's not a good idea. But hey, I don't think I'm going to be quilting much anymore. I actually have an English paper piecing quilt that I may finish, but I don't have to sit at the sewing machine to do that. All right. Well, heck. I may put one more over there. I don't know. We'll see. All right. So next, sorry, I keep clearing my throat. I don't know what's up. I don't talk. I live alone with my cat, and I don't always talk to her. Okay, I'm gonna go get a needle and thread and I'll be back. All right, so what I have here is sashiko thread, I think it's called. I really like this a lot. I like working with it a lot. I'll put a link in the description below because I got it on Amazon. And I have I don't know if this is a sashiko needle or a number 1 milliner's needle. So I started talking about different types of slow stitch and people doing different kinds of slow stitch. I do a lot of, I use mostly newer fabrics, and I do a lot of embroidery on my pieces. That's just what I like to do. So I'm going to do some different embroidery stitches on this. I'm going to start with this seam sort of in the middle, and I turned it upside down because I do this stitch upside down, and I have to tell myself not to futz around with it because if it's a little wonky, it's okay. All right, I'm going to do a feather stitch here. And what I was saying is I like embroidery and I like to do crazy quilting. So I may do some crazy quilt seams here. And this one I think I'm going to do a feather stitch. And I might go, I just pierced that thread. I might go 2 this way, because you can do that if you wanna. Or even 3, but I think 2 is good. I'm gonna go back this way. And I'm gonna go this way a little bit. So I'm just going to leave the camera on while I do this because, I don't know, I can speed it up later, or you can speed it up yourself. Might be easier when I get to the middle to just leave it flat. I painted my nails like 2 days ago. Not even 2 days ago. Night before last, I think. And look, I have one that, I don't know why it sort of fell off. Didn't fall off. Came off in the shower. Used to do my nails all the time. Used to be very important to me. My best friend and I used to go for a time, a few years I think. We used to go together and get those artificial nails. There's a Mitzi hair there. We would go and get acrylic nails done, and that way I got to see her once every 3 weeks, whether I saw her in between times or not. It was at least once every 3 weeks. So we did that, and then after a while I realized that my nails were, it's not good for your nails at all. It took a long time to grow out, and you know, then I started doing manicures. I would, you know, go someplace and get a manicure. I did a manicure and a pedicure for a long time. And then I got, at one point I got a fungus on my toenails turned colors. And I didn't realize it at first, I think, because, you know, you sit back and relax and they do your nails and they take the polish off and they put it back on before you even look, if you're sitting back and relaxing. And one day I wasn't, because I was in a hurry or something, and I'm just untwisting this. I don't know if I'm twisting it further or if I'm untwisting it. There, now I'm untwisting. Sorry to get up all up in your face. Anyways, one day I was paying attention and realized that my toenails were getting sort of brown. That's not good. That's not good at all. There is a really cute little owl on this. I wonder if I could do, I bet I could do a watercolor. I could do a little sketch and put him in there. That might be fun. I was doing videos for a while with watercolor. I decided I can't really learn to do watercolor and learn to film and do YouTube and all that all at the same time. That was kind of crazy trying to do all that. Okay, I've gone a little too far. Let me go back up here. And I'm just going to do a running stitch over this way. All right, now I'm going to do this seam here. It's not really a seam, is it? I'm going to do a running stitch up here. And these stitches are a little bit big, which is fine with me. I'm running out of thread, and I'm going to show you what I do with that. Okay, I'm going to go to the back. Pull the thread through. And then just make sure on the front that it's okay. So I saw this somewhere. And I don't remember really exactly how they did it. Doesn't really matter. You just put a knot. And another knot. There we go. And no one's ever going to see it. I don't have my glasses on. Oh, hey, look at that. All right. I'm going to go back up to the top. The nice thing about these nice long needles is that you can get, well, I probably went off camera, sorry. You can get a lot of stitches on that needle. I think I'm getting a bit better about staying on camera. I thought about putting an X on the mat, you know, with some tape or something. But that would look silly, wouldn't it? All right, now I'm going to go across this way. And I think next I'm going to do one of my other favorite stitches. Which is a herringbone. Okay, I'm going to, I need it turned this way. Because although the stitch is going from left to right, the needle goes in from right to left. And let me just fix this. It's a little bit puckery and I don't really want that. Okay, I'm going to go up here, right to left. Go down here, right to left. Then I'm going to go up here, right to left. Ow, dang it. And down here, right to left. I actually got blood on one of my pieces one time. I didn't even know it. I stabbed myself and I was bleeding and I didn't even know it. That one's right there so I can see it. So I'll keep an eye on it and try not to get it on the fabric. Now, this stitch, as long as these stitches are parallel, I can go up here further and it still looks okay. I want to keep this line about the same height, but I do like my bottom line to go like up and down. And this one you can draw lines or use a stitch guide and put dots on the fabric to make sure that it gets nice and straight and even. But I do kind of like I like it when it's not quite so, when it's a little bit wonky, you know? So that one's a little bit more narrow. And this one is going to be not down quite so far. Again, when you feel resistance, don't continue to pull. Like Chandler told Joey, when you put the Q-tip in, if you start to feel resistant, don't keep pushing. It's the same thing. Well, not really. Okay, I'm at 19 minutes now, and I don't know if I can upload a video that's more than about 20 minutes. So maybe I'll do this in sections. Maybe I can stitch them together on YouTube. I know that you can edit on YouTube. Anyway, I'm just babbling. But I can't really sit here in this chair much longer. So I'm going to go down here. And I think I'm going to end off this thread. I may do some running stitch in this area, but you don't need to see all that. And then I'll come back and we'll do another seam. All right, good morning. So it is morning for me. I spent the night. I didn't spend all night. I spent the night watching TV and sewing. So I did some running stitch here. Basically all these seams, I realized this is the back and it doesn't really need to be very decorative. So then I did some running stitch back and forth here. I might do a little more there. Probably not. But what I want to do today is some heart stitches. So I want to talk for a minute about color and design. Now in slow stitching, there are no rules really, but there are design rules. There's rules with design. I one time took a bunch of different fabrics and I made a piece of like a crazy quilt kind of thing. And then I put a bunch of different decorative stitches on it, all different colors. And when I got done, what I had, I was just so busy. It was so busy. Too busy. Anyway, so, but my point is, you don't want to do that. So I used these fabrics that I bought together in a pack. I bought a pack of like 5 fat quarters. When you buy a pack like that, you know that those colors are going to go together. So you can use them together. So I would not, my cat, I would not, I wouldn't use colors that are not already in here because it would just be too much. You notice that I used all white. All my running stitches are all that white color, and I could have used gray or this orange here. But I chose to use white. And this sort of matches this color. It's close enough. So that's what I'm going to use today for my hurt stitches. So I have my handy dandy little guide. I think one day I'm going to make some of these to sell because can't buy them anywhere except in this book. And I think somebody should make them to sell. So I'm gonna make my marks. I should have done this off camera, but you know, hey, it's slow stitch, so I think you know what you're in for. And I imagine you might be sitting there sewing yourself, because that's what I do. That's what I tend to do. Okay, that's enough, I think, because I think I want maybe just 3 hearts right about there. Let's see. If I start here, there's 1 and 2 and 3. That'll be good. That looks good. Okay. So after you thread your needle, of course, you pierce the end to keep the needle, the thread on the needle, or the ribbon rather, on the needle. And I'm going to come up from the back in this bottom, in that bottom dot there. Then make sure I'm on camera. I'm going to go in here and up there. And I sort of like the way that's twisting like that. So I'm going to pull through. I probably need a bigger needle. I don't know what she's doing. And then down here to tack it down. She's trying to get something out from under the stove. All right. Well, now here's something I didn't think about. I don't want to pierce the ribbon. You have to be careful that you don't pierce through, because you can pull it out or damage it, whatever. And I probably need a bigger needle. It wouldn't pull so much, but I'm only doing 3 little hearts, so there. Going down, make sure I'm still on camera. And around. That looks pretty good. I like it. That is the boss getting into things she shouldn't be. I think she knows she can get away with it because I'm busy. I'm not sure if I like that. That looks okay. I might tack those down because this is going to get some use. I tacked these down. I did a running stitch to tack down that part. Because it is a book cover that might get, you know, scraped and whatever. This is for my niece. I sent one to my sister, and she said she and her daughter really liked it. So I'm making 2 to send to them. Just because that's what I do. Okay, here's the boss. Yeah, baby. Do I have to stop? Yeah. Oh, what was that? How did that happen? Oh my goodness gracious. Okay. I might have to go and give her some attention, play with her. Tried to play with her a little bit before I started, and she just didn't seem terribly interested. But now she's now she's rubbing up against my leg and meowing at me and saying, "Mom, you need to play with me." All right. I can't get that to go the way I want it to, so I'm just going to let it do what it wants to do. It'll be okay. Yeah, it's kind of twisted weird. That's okay. I'm going to go down. I'm going to go back up. Put this one a little higher. Oh my gosh, she's so distracting. All right. But I'm almost done. I'm so close to being done. Being really careful not to pierce. I want to get close enough, but not go through that ribbon. I think I went through it. Okay, one more stitch, sweetie. Oh, sorry. And that one's all twisted up, and I don't really care at this point. All right. Okay, now I'm going to finish that off camera. I'm going to tack these down a little bit, I think. And I need to tack down the end of the ribbon here in the back. And then what I'm going to do next is I have to measure, of course, and make sure that I have, oh, I'm going to sew these under. I think I'm going to sew this under with just a running stitch because it doesn't need to be, I could machine stitch it, I guess. So I'm going to do this. Actually, I'm going to do this with right sides together. Like that. And of course, I'll have to futz around with it and all that because it needs to fit here. You could do this with any size book. Just hold it out like this and make sure that your edges, make sure it has enough room. I could leave a little extra room. And then I have this piece that I sewed two pieces together. I may need 3, I don't know. Now, my other one that I did, I put the fabric upside down. So pay attention to that. Make sure that it's right side up. And then face down, because you want, oh my gosh, because you want right sides facing. And yes, this needs to be on top of those. And then sew the seams along the top and the bottom. So I'm going to do all of those things and then come back. And I can't do sewing at the machine on camera. I mean, I guess I could, but I don't like to listen to people when they record on their sewing machine, so I don't do that. So you know what? I like the top one with the twisted thread better. Note to self. All right. So I'm going to do those things, play with the cat, and I'll be back. All right. Who knew that the hardest thing about filming would be the CAT? I have to wait till the boss is sleeping. So I redid these because I wanted them to twist a little more. And I'm not terribly happy with them, but I tack them down a little bit. It's fine. They're fine. So what I did is I marked where the top and the bottom seams are going to be, and I marked where the side seams are going to be. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this around this way and flip it over, turn this around this way, because I realized that with those marks on the outside, I can't see them on the inside. That's kind of silly. Okay. That's good enough for government work. Oh, I brought this here. I just want to share this with you. I decided I'm going to make some little, this is my doodle a day. I try to doodle every day. Sometimes mostly it's just lettering. But look at this little fox. Won't he be cute on a little bookmark? Ha ha. That'll be fun. And maybe I can finish that and post a picture when I'm done with this. All right, so now I'm going to take the book out. 1 second. I had to get some pins. It's funny when you're cleaning, because I'm cleaning and decluttering and, you know, all that. And it's hard to hard to keep track of things when you're cleaning. I have so much crap. It's not even funny. Okay, so I'm just pinning. I know you can't, I'm off camera down here. I'm just pinning the edges. And I'm going to turn it over with the book still inside. And I'm going to pin. I'm not sure if that's even. And I may have to change this up when I get, that's just, all right. I want to talk for a minute, not sponsored at all. I have these Ginger, is that how that's pronounced? No, they're not Ginger, they're Guggenheim. I don't know if you can see that. Whoop, 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 whoop. No, you can't. There we go. Maybe you can see this one. There it is. I love these scissors. I was sold on it when they, in the ad, they showed this lady cutting through like 5 layers of felt. And I went, wow, I have to have those scissors. So I bought them, and you know, they're so amazing. They're so good. All right, so I'm going to pull this out, put the book to the side, and then I want to try to make, because I have this mat with lines, I'm going to, yeah, it's pretty even. It's pretty even. Okay. The other thing that I'm going to add, this is the little ribbon that came when I bought these packs. It came with this ribbon wrapped around it. Let's just see, this is about 16 inches. So that's middle-ish. Middle-ish. And I'm gonna pin that in there. Then I have these little, to check again to see, I have these little tags that I bought on Etsy. I just love them. And look, it matches. All right, I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put it inside the back cover. And it has to face, I'm totally off camera. It has to face this way. Now, I just realized that I marked the top and bottom. You know what? It doesn't matter. I'm just gonna put my pin back in there. And then put my book back. All right, the next thing that we need, I did this. I took 2 little pieces of fabric, sewed them together. This is for the inside. So I want this to go face down, facing the fabric. with these underneath. That's important to remember because the first book that I did it wrong. I did it the opposite way twice. Like I did it, I realized that it was wrong. I took all that stitching out and I redid it, and I was still wrong. So to take it out again. All right, now I want to make sure that my seams are straight. I'll do the top one first. Let's do this. Pull this down. I'm making sure that the edges come to the edges there. Put my ruler down and line it up with one of these lines here. Make sure that that's straight-ish. And then this is my sewing line. And I think I got, yeah, I think I got those in the seam and not. All right. If I were not on camera, I would not turn it around, but then you couldn't see. All right, so that's needs to go about here. See, I'm going, I'm giving it like 1/8 of an inch on either side. Of the actual book because I don't want it too tight. So let's pull this down a little bit. So I can line this up with this line. I went the wrong way. Normally I wouldn't really care, but with this kind of a project, it makes a difference. I have to inch this up just a bit. Okay. So if the seams are too big, I can make them smaller. That's really easy. If they're too small, you can make them bigger, but it's not as easy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if I put the seam down here and it was too tight to fit the book in, you have to rip out that seam and do it again. But if I put it here and it needs to be in closer, that's easy to fix. You just redo the seam. So I'm gonna go and sew this on the sewing machine. Okay, that's done. And I ran over a pin there. All right. So now I'm going to flip it around before I trim my seams. And by the way, I almost ran over this with the bottom seam. Don't want to do that. So I'm going to flip it around. I have to remember that I have to stay on camera. And then this middle part, where is it? Here it is. This gets flipped around, all the way around. Okay. Now I want to just try it on for size. Make sure it's going to fit. What do you know? Now, if you have a book that has a less flexible cover, you don't want to make the sides this big. Like, you can just go, I'll show you in just a minute. There we go. All right, if you have a hardcover book, if you make the sides only come to about here, and then make this piece in the middle wider, then it'll be easier to get on and off. Now, this is a little bit floppy, which is fine with me. If this book got fat, like if I was going to do this for myself, sometimes our books get to be gator mouth. You know, it gets really thick. So if this got to be gator mouthed, then this would still fit. Okay, so isn't that cute? That's just adorable. All right, so I'm going to take it out and flip it back around. Oops. Make sure that's not going to get cut. And with my wonderful scissors, just see how easily it cuts through all those layers of fabric. Just amazing. I love it. Okay, now if you notice, I'm careful not to cut off this knot and that seam, but I am going to cut this corner here, this corner here. That corner. I don't want to cut off that seam. Ouch. All right. Now, I want to show you one more thing. I bought these little doodads. Can you see? Can you see? This one says handmade. This one says made with love. I just think they're adorable. I made some things for my niece's granddaughter. And now when she gets things in the mail from me, she looks for the little tag, this little tag. So I'm going to put those on because the other one that I made doesn't have a little tag. I want to put a different tag on there. So I'm going to sew the tag on. I think I'll iron it because, you know, I'm an ironing kind of gal. And then I'm going to do the bookmark. And I'll come back and show you the final book all put together. Well, here we are. I'm finished with these, and I decided I'm going to make a bookmark in a different video. So this is the one that I made before. There's the, I put the little tag in, and the bookmark, and the little thing, flippy floppy thingy. And here's the one that we did today. I need to iron this again. There's the little tag, the little bookmark, and the little, now this one's a little loose, which I kind of like. This one here, I did this one mostly by machine. I put a little bit of slow stitching in it. And this one is easier to get the book in and out. But also it's a little bit tighter. So, and I don't know which one I would like better. And I'm never going to know because I'm not going to use them. These are going to get shipped off. So, yeah, that's it for today. Look for my next video. I'm going to do a watercolor video, I think, and do the little owl and the fox. I just realized there's no fox on the front of this. This one has a fox on the front. Maybe I should pay more attention next time. It's in the... Okay. Thanks for watching. Till next time.